Mic check, mic check. Okay. Is there anything that we need to? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today, this morning. Welcome, welcome. I just want to officially welcome you to the first, this is our inaugural Faculty of Management Sciences Postgraduate Symposium. So today you're part of history, so give yourself a round of applause for being part of this beautiful history that is about to unfold today. My name is Dr. Marcia Lebambo. I am part of the faculty. I'm a senior lecturer and section head in the Department of Management and Entrepreneurship. I have the privilege and honor of being the program director for today. So feel free, enjoy. This is a beautiful day. We are about to witness history, and I think I just need to give a little bit of background in terms of the type of history that you are part of today. The fact that today you are not just presenting in a symposium, you are harnessing your research skills. You are literally putting yourself out there and launching yourself as a researcher. And today is not just a symposium. You are also playing an active role in terms of, in your different respective roles that you play at work, whether you work for Department of Home Affairs, who's struggling with service delivery, and one day your manager will ask who wants to be part of a research team that will help us in terms of improving service delivery. And because you're part of the Faculty of Management Sciences, and you know research, and you presented at the symposium, you can confidently raise your hand and say, I want to be part of that research team. So it's not just the symposium, but on a bigger scale, you are part of a history that will help us solve the socio-economic challenges that are facing South Africa today that desperately need researchers like yourselves to come and give us solutions to the problems that we are facing. So this is not just a symposium, and I hope you take it with that perspective, that is part of something bigger than just coming here and present. And lastly, before I introduce our very first speaker to do the opening and welcome, I just want to remind you that today only 20 students are presenting. But maybe if you look at the landscape of Tshwane University of Technology, we have close to 60,000 students enrolling annually. So we are the biggest contact university in South Africa, 60,000. The Faculty of Management Sciences enroll about 14,000. Postgraduate, particularly M&Ds, we can only take 500. And today, only 20 are presented. Do you see how beautiful and special you are? That from that big pool of 60,000 down to 20. So this is not something small. And we literally took you out of hundreds and hundreds of applicants that wanted to be part of this symposium. So this is not just you coming here and presenting and showcasing your beautiful research. This is bigger than what you think. And I hope that you will take it with that heart. So welcome, and feel free and enjoy. Today is going to be beautiful. Yeah, please go ahead. Give yourself a round of applause for that. I am quite excited, and I don't want to waste time because our executive dean of the faculty, the biggest faculty of management and management sciences, Dr. Edgar Nesamvuni, is here, and he will be doing the opening and welcome. With that warm smile and round of applause, I'm going to kindly request that we welcome him to the podium as he comes to give us the opening and welcome.
Morning, everyone. You said everything I wanted to say, so so I need to stand here and make jokes, and then I leave. Because she said welcome, and then I said I'm going to start by saying this is our first one. Then she said it. Hi, Marcia. But anyway, morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to make it a bit more complex than Marcia did. Our first annual postgraduate studies Symposium for the Faculty of Management Sciences. By using the word annual, I'm actually putting pressure to say next year is another one, and the year after, and the year after. So it is indeed the first time we are doing this. If it looks nice, then we are very good. You might think that we have done this before, but it's the first time we are doing this. So we are quite excited that some brave soul, your brave soul, said she's going to do this. I'm not a person for events. If you are going to plan an event, just tell me and leave me out. Otherwise, I'll say cancel the day before because I think something will go wrong. So I have not at all been involved in the organization of this event. And maybe, even though I was going to say this at the end, I want to appreciate the team that has put this together. It makes one proud that we are capable and able to do this. So why do we do this? Then Marcia said all the answers to the why. The first why for me is that as a postgraduate student, I always say this, some don't accept it, but it is a fact. If you ever choose to enroll for a master's, you are choosing an academic career. You don't do a master's to get a promotion in a company, unless if you are doing an MBA. But if you are doing an academic master's, you are choosing an academic career. If you are choosing an academic career, you need to realize that it is a space where there is always scrutiny. So we are doing this so that our students can get used to being scrutinized. Science, there's no right and wrong, there's always opinions. So you must get used to being scrutinized. So if she's saying there's 20 presenting this year, next year, madam, 50, somewhere there, it can be 2 days, we don't care. Because our students need to get used to be scrutinized. So if you are here as an observer, as a student, we have not rented a crowd to clap hands. You are here to scrutinize what is being presented to you. If you are coming here to present, it's not here for you to get ululated on. Expect to be scrutinized, expect questions to be raised in relation to what you are going to present, because that's how you learn. If we sit here, spend the whole day clapping hands to each other and ululating, we defeat the whole purpose. Because if you find yourself in a conference, they don't do that. They ask you questions that sometimes you don't, and you are not even able to answer. That's how you learn. So that is one of the purposes why we are putting this together. I know most of you who are master students, PG diploma students, doctoral students. Some of you have shed a tear when you received comments on your proposal. I'm right, ne? You feel like you are the most useless person. Well, that is the line that you have chosen. It is nothing compared to submitting an article when you think you have arrived, and then it come back and they say they are not accepting your article. So what better place than this for you to learn to receive scrutiny? It is just the start. Whatever you have received on your proposal is just the start. So it is important that we should help you get used to scientific critique. We are attempting for the first time this year, that's why the numbers are low. But obviously, as we have learned, as we are going to learn from this year, we are going to have a bigger session, bigger event the coming years. What will be the benefit to you as student who's presenting? Obviously, is for you to learn to present in front of an audience. What most of you might not know is that the policy of this university allows this university to fund students to go present at conferences. Most students don't utilize that. Either, maybe I will give benefit of the doubt. Maybe you are not aware that you are allowed to go to a conference and you said, no, my supervisor must go present. But as a faculty, we have taken a decision that when a student has completed his or her work, if there's a conference to be attended, the first person to be opted for to present is the student. The student need to say, I am not able to go. Maybe you can't get leave from your work. But if you say you can't go because you are scared, because it does happen, then obviously it is important for us to give you a platform to learn. Number two, I'm saying this in jest, we will start to also see who won't embarrass us if we send you to a conference. So it will be important for us. We will probably, in all honesty, if you are applying to go to a conference, you are presented in the symposium, we know you are presenting well. It will be a no-brainer for us to support that. I have to be honest, I thought it was a joke, but actually we are not joking. So if you do well here and you apply to go to a conference, obviously we will have the confidence that you are going to represent us well, whichever platform, whichever conference you are going to attend. So at this stage, again, I want to thank the Assistant Dean and a team, Mpumi, Evidence. I kept on asking, are you guys ready? They said, no, we are ready. How many people are coming? The numbers we have mentioned are not yet here. I'm not, they are still coming. Eh? They are still on the way, yes. Thank you for doing this, Cheryl. Thank you, Evidence. Thank you, Mpumi. I also want to thank Dr. Hamilton Mpidi. He just left TUT. We brought him back. Thank you for leaving your comfortable office in Johannesburg to come to be with us today. Thank you very much. I also want to thank the faculties of humanities. Marcia, they are the biggest faculty at TUT. Yes. Assistant Dean for Research. Where is she? Oh, yeah. Thank you. And she said she brought a team. Thank you for you and your team to support us. If you call on us, we will come to Soshanguve. Yes. Faculty of Science, Doc, I hope you also have your team. Just say yes, man. And Faculty of Engineering and the Built Environment. These faculties have volunteered to be in the panel to evaluate the posters, to evaluate the presentation. There will be prize giving today. Top presenter, top poster. There's no money, ne? But beautiful trophies and beautiful certificates. Please help us to improve. It is our first time. Number two, make sure that you enjoy. Number three, and most importantly, learn from this experience. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Executive Dean, for officially welcoming everyone. I hope you now feel at home, right? Hope you feel at home. I knew that humanities is the biggest, but I was just pulling something, you know. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I don't want us to waste time. We have a beautiful program, including at 10 o'clock, between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, those that are doing the poster presentation, I will kindly request the judges and the presenters to go out and do their thing from 10 to 12, so that we give the presenters and the judges enough time to go through the posters alone, and then we continue with the oral presentation. So without any waste of time, I'd like to officially move to the next speaker. And I have a bio here that I've been given. I'm going to read the bio and introduce our keynote speaker. Dr. Hamilton Mpidi is currently the Director of Technology Transfer Office, TTO, at the University of Johannesburg. With over 20 years experience in innovation and technology transfer, Dr. Mpidi held various positions from institutions such as the Tshwane University of Technology, University of Pretoria, and entities such as SASO, Financial and Fiscal Commission, FFC, and the U.S. Embassy. He holds a PhD in Information Science from the School of Information Technology, University of Pretoria, a Master's of Business Administration, MBA, from the Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences in Finland. He serves on several innovation bodies, including the Southern African Research and Innovation Management Association, SARIMA, the National Advisory Council of Innovation, NACI, as Technical Committee on National Science, Technology and Innovation Information Portal, and the Board of South African Library for the Blind. His field of expertise include innovation management, intellectual property, technology entrepreneurship, information management, information and incubation support, and law and corporate governance. He's also a convener at the Gauteng Technology Transfer Forum. So we have a powerhouse here, all the way from the University of Johannesburg, ladies and gentlemen. With those warm, welcoming claps, can we please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Mpidi.
Can I connect my my presentation? Apologies, I'm trying to have a presentation. Psychologists say that people remember what they've seen. So if I just talk, you probably will not see and remember. As I'm introduced, I'm delighted to be here. When I grew up, when women get married, they often tell them that they mustn't come often home after they got married. And I feel like I'm that person that I'm coming home so often, and then I was telling them that I shouldn't be coming often, you know. But Tweety has been my home for 17 years, and then when I got the invitation, I actually thought it was a mistake. And I was like, Prof, Doc, do you know that I don't work for Tweety anymore? And she said, no, I am aware, you know. And yesterday I was actually invited as investor from Mpumalanga, and I had to shut them down, but I couldn't say no to Tweety. I found it very difficult to say no, and then, yeah, so I'm grateful for the invitation. And research is a very exciting topic for me, and of course, my background, I use research and innovation and combining, because I believe that research can be innovative. But of course, not all the research can be innovative. You know, we have to accept. You know, but recently now we are really looking at in terms of how can we shy away from this narration that only engineering and science could actually come with research that is innovative. Actually, we are now believing that the humanities and the social sciences, the management sciences could actually come with research that is innovative. And that's basically the idea. They call it a shape. So all the investors are moving that. So even if you are in the you know, economics, in the management sciences, you can have a groundbreaking research. And I'll give you examples of those kind of innovative that research that can come. So I really wanted to share with you in terms of how you could actually do a research. So the idea is that when you do a research, we should refrain from doing research for the sake of doing research. Yes, I know we want qualification, we want the degree, we want the diploma, but can we really look at terms of two ways? Can we do a research that is addressing the industry needs? Can we do a research that will have an impact? And for me, those are fundamental issues, you know. I know we get excited about our research themes, our topics, and we get overwhelmed that we know we want to study from a degree to a PhD. But the fact is, what impact do your research do? Yes, some people might take your research and build on it, and based on your recommendations. But we're really saying that let's have impactful. The nation that doesn't innovate lags behind. And I think COVID shows us that if we don't innovate, we lag behind. We produce a lot of scientists, and you call them biotechnologists, then, but we couldn't have our own vaccine in Africa, in South Africa, let alone. And is that possible? We spend a lot of money on research. I find it difficult. So that's where I come to say that let's have research that has impact, that could actually be innovative. And we should agree, yes, not all research, not all of them will be innovative. Are we struggling?
It's not picking, the laptop is not picking up the HDMI.
Oh, okay. Do I use this? All right, there you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, cool. So I've already, wasted my time on trying to introduce, but I think it's so this is our campus. Let me, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so as I've indicated, I say that when I was looking at the theme that, you are really looking in terms of how research can be innovative and be impactful. And I say one of the important things that one needs to focus is that the research that is, impactful, it's really involves strategic focus, and this is normally what is adopted by the universities, as where they try to have the research that could yield tangible and positive societal impact and economic benefit. And it's very, very important that our research must have economic benefit. And really, one of the important things as well when coming to research is that we really need to involve, a research that will address the United Nations and the SDGs, as you know. And that's where the world is moving. If we don't really, try to address those issues, we are really burning the world. We are burning this universe. So we actually have to have a research that can translate into discover practical application or new solutions. And I've indicated that we cannot continue on researching things that doesn't have an impact, doesn't actually bring new solutions. And new solution is not about technology, it's not about tangible technology, but can we optimize and operational how we do things? Now, what is a research for impact? And I look at this diagram that is based on the work of Professor Max Reed, and which is very fundamental. And I'm trying not to give you the MBA answers and stuff, because once you become to MBA stuff, it's something that you can go and read for yourself. And Prof. Reed argues that if you want research that is impactful, you need to really understand, have a good understanding and awareness of the environment, Go to talk to industry and ask them, what are the challenges that you have, What can I address, In innovation, we always say that you must have a business case when you are innovating. You must, value proposition, what's the problem that you're solving, And what is that your technology or research is solving, What are you doing with that? And attitudinal is very important. He indicated that you have to look at different ways of how you approach the research. Economic value, and the research has to be impactful. It must provide economic value. And he also, argued that, the environment is very, very, and environmental is more about the scanning the environment, understanding. I remember when with TUT, we said we want to understand what kind of businesses are located in Tshwane. And so that we can know that what can we innovate, And we know that you go to Roslyn, you find we've got a lot of OEMs that are there, That's when you scan the environment. You want to understand, which environment you are. And also he argues that, the research, some of the research can have impact on policy. They can inform on how policy can be changed. And of course, decision making and behavior. And I always say that some of the research that were done, and I always give an example that if you look at your Apple Watch or smartwatch, the technology has been there. We always have watch with smartphone. But someone thought, if I can combine the two, they'll have an impact. And we all know have smartwatch. You want to monitor your heart rate, your steps, your movement. But we had watch before. We had smartphones, which comes evolution in after 2010. But that's kind of impactful research where you change people's behavior in terms of how they were living. They will realize that, no, I need to know how many steps I'm doing. And of course, some of the research can actually have cultural impact. Now, I took the slides from United Nations Development Program because, and then I want you to focus on the number two. Number two, there is a disconnect between academic research industry needs. And I cannot stop emphasizing that our research, not all, are not addressing the industry needs. We're not. And that's why our research, some of us will end up in a publication, and of course someone will take and do academic research, but can it be applicable? Can we apply that research? Can it solve the problem in the society or in the industry? And that is, and the other thing that I want you to focus, number three, we don't have the Pan-African R&D strategy, and for me that's a problem. We all just researching, we were doing research. That's why we couldn't even come with the COVID vaccine, because we don't have a strategy. And that's the entire Africa. And then if you compare with other power world and you will know that many continents, many regions, they have a strategy, R&D strategy. We don't have that. And for me, that is a fundamental problem. Now, let's look at the key aspects of empowering research for impact and innovation. And firstly, strategic alignment is very important. You have to focus your efforts in institutional priorities. So you have to look at what TUT is focused. I always say that you can't say you want to go to the moon if TUT doesn't want to go to the moon. So your research must speak to the priorities of the university. and the areas with potential for societal impact. Look at the society, and also the economic impact, and then I cannot emphasize that we need to look at the sustainable development goals. That's very important, and that's where the world is going, and if you are going to present internationally, those are the things that you must be touching. People will be asking you, but in your research, which SDG is your research focusing? And you're like, what is SDG? So please go and do your research if you're really not familiar with that. And whenever you have a topic, see if you are addressing one aspect of SDGs, and because that's where the world it is. And also capacity building, it's very important that we need to invest in professional development, in training and mentorship for researchers. I'm reading a book here by the CEOs X Factors, and they interview different CEOs, of Discovery, of in Imperial, and most of them, they emphasize the mentorship has played a crucial role in their lives, in their progress. So we also need to mentor young researchers, and so that we can enhance their skills and confidence in conducting this impactful research. You can think you can do on your own, but sometimes mentorship is important. People that have done it, people who have been there, they can actually give you a mentorship. We don't operate as an island. So collaboration and engagement is very important. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, and that's why, the important thing, so in innovation, if you come and say you've got something new, innovative, we always go and check in the database, is this thing novel? What is novel is that, is it new? Because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. If someone came with the app, and I know nowadays everybody's doing the app, food delivery, we are reinventing the wheel. Can't we collaborate? Let's collaborate, and co-create and see if among researchers with other external parties we can collaborate. Share resources, maximize expertise. Now, resource management and data-driven decisions, very important. It is very important now, today, our so-called federal, they're meeting to determine whether to cut the rates. And the question is, do they have that data that's helping them to make the decision? Yesterday the federal has, I think yesterday they cut the rates, and they using data. So it's very, very important that we really, effectively allocate resources and manage budgets and using data that will guide our research. Very, very impactful. If you are examining in a dissertation or thesis, you obviously going to be trying to look if, especially in the doctoral level, we're always trying to say that have you covered everything? And do you have a data that actually support your decision, your research? And that's very, very impactful. The last aspect is very important because not everybody see themselves as innovators, but we need to innovate and commercialize. So we need to really have support, translate our research fund into new products. It could be services, it could be technologies that can address the social challenges. So it's very important that every research that we do, you must look at that. Can you translate? Can you really translate this into a product or a service? And often we don't think about that. We need to recognize, Dr. Shar, we need to recognize and support the researcher. We need to really reward excellence. It's very important. And I'm grateful that today the posters, some of them will be evaluated and be given certificates. So that really for me, it's sort of it gives a holistic and a balance for researchers because they know that, when you are recognized, and it's always good that, you have to believe that recognition can motivate you to go further and do research. It shouldn't be that, once you got a certificate, you think, yeah, I'm a researcher, I'm in research. You need really to be inspired and be able to do research. This is very important. And often now we have sort of neglected community engagement. For me, it's very important. We need to connect researchers with the real world. There are some researchers that are living in a different world, and they are doing fantastic research, AI stuff, But this AI stuff are polluting the technology space, But are they actually engaging the community, Are they really solving a real world needs, Yesterday we were talking about, we're at a theme, we're talking about, now if you talk about energy, and you talk about the smartphones, and you're talking to someone who doesn't have electricity, and you are telling them about, fancy stuff. You're telling them about that they must have Wi-Fi. They must be connected, but they don't have electricity. They don't have energy. Very, very important. So what I'm trying to say is that the society has got real challenges, real problems. But as researchers, are you collaborating with communities and business and maybe policymakers, to ensure that you address the relevant problems that can create meaningful challenge? That's very important. You can sit in your little corner in your office and say that I'm doing this fantastic research, but have you talked to people? When innovator comes to me and says that I've got this fantastic technology, it can change, I say, who said they want it? I ask the question, did you spoke to someone? No, I haven't talked to someone, but I want you to Google. No, have you spoke to people? Do they want that, I remember 1 year there were people that got funding, couple of millions. They wanted to come with the low-cost housing, and they were going to develop the prototype. Then I asked them, but did you talk to the community that you are going to in Tembisa? Do they want this house? They said, we haven't talked to them. And they actually went to do a research. They found that the community said that we can't have these houses because the structure is vulnerable to fire. You see, they were going to spend millions doing prototype for something that the community will not want it. No one wants to stay in a house that can be vulnerable to fire. You want the fire resistant. So those are important things that talk to people, do not shy away. Now, we always say that what is the relationship between research and innovation? Now, so if you look at I'll say research, it's knowledge. When we do research, we generate new knowledge, and that's the role of the universities. But when you talk about innovation, if you see those signs, dollar signs, money. So when you're innovating, you of course taking the knowledge, but then you are translating into innovative product because you want to make money. No one wants to innovate not to make money. Of course, there's societal benefits where you are innovating to help the society, to improve themselves, not really to make money. But the relationship is there that in the research, you generate knowledge, and innovation, you want product that actually you can commercialize. So innovation, it builds upon research, and then you generate economic value. Economic value, you got to make money out of it. Meanwhile, when you do research, you are obviously trying to develop technology. Sometimes you're trying to improve the existing technology. So that's very important. When you do literature review, go and check, there are technologies that are existing, and there are ideas that are there. But can you improve, build on them? And there's nothing wrong in taking someone's technology and improve it, and optimize it. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Because most of research are built on other research. That's why you have literature review. And so because you are building on some people that have done research, and you're trying to see that, can I build on that? So that you don't reinvent the wheel, and that's very fundamental. Now, how does research help innovation? Very, very, very important. As researchers, our role in innovation is to provide data-driven foundation for creating processes. And that's what I say, that as researchers, we provide data, we do research, and from the beginning to the end, we make sure that we actually have covered a lot of things. And that's fundamental to research. Then we know that as innovators, you are going to really looking at, has then research done on this product or this technology, and that I'm actually want to implement. And that's where the relations becomes. Now, why is it important, or what is the impact of innovation, and why is the impact of innovation very important? And for me, it says that the impact of innovation is very important. I told you, the country that doesn't innovate will lag behind. It will not progress because we always rely on the Western, and sorry, no offense to the Western, but we are not really coming with ideas that are solving our real problems in Africa. And Africa has got its own problem. I really have a problem on us just importing different ideas that are not really resolving. And why is it that we wait for other people to speak about innovation? And I give example, when we do movies about Madiba, why do we have to get an international actor to come and tell our stories? Why can't we look at local? And for me, it bothers me. So that's what I'm saying. That it's very, very, very important that we really look in terms of what is our problems and how can we solve them. Now, there are 4 P's in innovation. Paradigm. It's very, very important. The angle, the epistological way in which you are doing a research plays a very fundamental role, and I know. And I always say that if I'm asked to examine a thesis or dissertation, most of the time I'll read the first chapter and the last chapter, and then I have an essence. But I read the research methodology because I want to see that, does this researcher understand? Because it's copy and paste. Now they use AI, ChatGPT, and I want to see that, Do you understand research methodology before you can even bargain on that? And and you know your researcher will tell you there are theoretical frameworks, and people go and list these theoretical frameworks, but actually not defining them. And when you go to do your data collection tools, you forgot that your data collection tools, they must be underpinned by your theoretical frameworks, you know. And then, so that's where I'm saying that the research needs to be really built on. And of course, when you examine, then you don't want to fail a student. You rather said, you know, rather, you know, improve on this work, or maybe do the satisfaction of supervisor. That's a polite way, you know, of satisfaction of supervisor. But you don't want that. But obviously, there are somewhere where you are looking at this research, or even a journal article, and you look at the research methodology. You're asking yourself, what angle is this article is going? You know, the process, very, very important. And process can be sequential, you know, how you are actually working. You know, when you do a research, you must think about the reader. You won't be there when the reader is reading your article or your dissertation or your work. You know, the reader needs to follow, you know, and they need to understand where is this research going, you know, and then, you know, maybe they want to keep going back, you know. How do you position your research? Very, very, very important, you know. And I've indicated that you cannot go and position a research. You cannot go to a suburb and probably you want to ask them about things that actually impact people that are in informal settlement. So you need to really look at the balance in terms of how you're focusing. And product, eventually you want to have a product. The product can be a research output, it can be creative output, it can be a journal article, it could be a technology, it could be a service that you provide. So there must be a end product, you know. It mustn't be, you know. It mustn't be that you are doing a research and it's just gonna end it. Now I'm gonna go to end, and then I'm leaving you with, here are the few keys why innovation impact is important. Innovation impact is important. Now, I will never stop overemphasizing economic growth. So new opportunities, you know, innovation creates new industry, product and services, and that's very, very important. And I told you, innovation is not about the tech. It's not about the technology. It can be process, way of doing business, can be way of optimizing how can we work. And that's why you have this company that have turnaround strategy, because things are not working. Then we want someone to really turn it around. So we mustn't look at tech as it's about smartphone, it's about whatever. And increase productivity. Some of the innovation, some of the research that can be innovative can actually provide more input into newer ways, you know, of how you do innovation. And I'll tell you, if you have to go to most of companies, especially the OEM, you go to Roslyn, you will find that most of this company actually using robot, you know, and things that were done by humans are now, and that's the way the world is going. So they are actually, it increase productivity. Why? Human beings is a human being. Human being can get sick leave. So can you imagine if the BMW has to produce 300 cars in a week and they rely on human being? It's going to be a problem. So they have to optimize. So to increase productivity, they have to look at new ways. And robots is the way, because robots doesn't get sick. Robots doesn't take leave, you know, and robots will work 24 hours, you know. But we are human beings. We get fatigue. We don't get tired. So that's the way. And it's not like they're replacing us, but that's the reality. And so the innovation also, it's the economic value. I did spoke that when you do innovation, it fosters entrepreneurship, and that will create new jobs. And I always say that even if your research is going to be spin out, you're going to create a business out of your technology, you're going to be entrepreneur, and even if you hire one person, you made an impact, because someone will hire someone will hire another. You make an impact, and that's where we need to go. Now, I will never stop by saying that when you do research, it will improve the quality of life, because the innovation will provide more challenges. You know, the climate, it's an issue now, and people underestimate this issue of the climate change and the climate, and that we are really, really not doing well to justice to the planet, you know. And of course, most of the research will improve their everyday living lives. New products and services. Can you imagine how this fantastic technology that the innovation, your checker 60 has improved their life. Some people don't want to get out of the house. You are busy making breakfast, you realize that you don't have eggs, and you have to drive to the mall, to go and buy eggs, use petrol, have to get the traffic. You got checker 60, you got, everybody now has this thing. So improve the way we are living, our everyday living. So you need to think. So the person that thought about it wasn't really thinking about money, but it's like, how can you improve the quality of people? And it could be also in healthcare. Now you see that we have drones that deliver medication, And then I know the pharmacists are against this technology. Why? So you see, when you enter the pharmacy, most of the pharmacy, there's a shop, there's a shop in the pharmacy. So there are staff that are selling. So the pharmacists are saying that, remember, we want people to physically come and collect medication. Because when you see the dispenser, when you get medicine, have you seen that they always put it in the bag? Because they want you to walk through, and when you walk through, you're going to buy something. Oh, I want a chocolate, and I want energy drink. So they are against those technologies of the drone because now they are not going to make money because people are not going to walk to the pharmacy. They're not going to buy those things, And that's the dilemma that, so and I'm tipping you, if you have a technology that is going to be improving that, you must be willing that you're going to get resistant because people want to make money. So, and I'm giving a typical example. Pharmacists don't like this kind of things because they want people to enter the pharmacy. They want people to go and buy the stuff in the pharmacy. Now, competitive advantage is very important, and I could never. When you do research or when you have something that is new, the always question is that what is the competitive edge? And someone will come and say, I've got this fantastic tool, this fantastic app, You can just go to the app and find a helper. But I always say that what's the competitive edge to the one that are already existing, Because we're mushrooming a lot of these apps. And I want to leave you with a few examples of research innovation. And the Google one, we all know, this was started in the university. So it was young students. They found the algorithm, they found a way, and look where everybody was using Google. Started from research. Can we be disruptive? Can we do research that is disruptive? Let's stop doing research. Yes, I know we want to get those degrees, You want to finish your qualification. But can we, as researchers, do business case? Your topic, think about it, What am I solving? Uber. How many cars does Uber have? 0. But they're making money. They don't have. No. Airbnb. They don't have any properties. But they're making money. Netflix have changed the way we watch TV. When we watch TV, we used to watch SABC 1, 2, and 3. And that's it. And that SABC 1, you must have a power. You must be connected somewhere. There must be an aerial, that it's giving you. But now, Netflix has shown you that you just stream. You don't wait for Wednesday to watch that particular show. You can just watch it anytime. And it has revolutionized. And MultiChoice never expected that this is what will happen. They were comfortable, having the enjoying the life. And that's innovation. Someone said and thought, and with the Uber, remember, they asked people, they did a research. They went to people and asked people, how would you want to travel? And someone said, I would want a transport that will take me from my doorstep, and take me to my destination. Because we grew up using taxis. We were fine. We were cool. But now, so this person listened and went and innovated and said, you know what? We can come with this. The same thing with the smartphone. When the first time when the phones were invented, they never asked the customer, what do you want on the phone? But the second time, because if you remember the generation of the old phone, it was just phone, you just phone. The huge phones, we call them the first breed. But now they went to the customer and said, what do you want to see on the phone? Someone said, a camera, I want to take a picture. Someone said, I want to listen to radio, I want to watch a movie. And they went back and innovate. And that's why when you do research, you talk, you ask people. Lastly, we never thought that, you can actually, I'm not a fan of tech a lot, but tech a lot has changed that you can actually don't have to be going to the shops and look for something. You can just order something and it gets delivered. That's the way it is. That's innovation, and that's how the world has changed. So I am saying, when we do our research, let's have a research that will have an impact. Let's have the research that has an innovate. Not all research can be innovative. When you choose a topic, whether it's for an article, whatever, we want to get excited. I want to look forward to read this article that I downloaded it, But if I'm going to look at the topic and I'm going to look at it and I was like, this article is probably, and I have a good memory. If I read an article, I'm going to remember that, but there was an article I seem to say, but this author is saying that this is first. I'm the first, and I'm like, and I have a problem with those people that have the first, say I'm the first, unless you have gone to actually check, are you the first person to write, to come with that research? Because someone sitting in China that you've never met can come with the same topic that you have here in South Africa, you've never met, and you can have the same title or same focus of research. It's possible. But the question is, how do you build on people's research, and so that it can be impactful? You can really not reinvent the wheel, and that's fundamental. With that, thank you so much. I'm very excited that, because at first I was like, okay, I'm speaking to, who am I speaking to? You know, and then for me, the postgraduate, the research will always be my home, and it's fantastic to be here. And I wish you all the best, and I hope that this journey of researchers, someone once told me that when you do postgraduate studies, actually, you finish the studies when the supervisor wants you to finish. And I don't know whether that is true. That is true. And just be patient. But I always say that when you do a topic that you don't lose interest in the middle. There's nothing wrong than spending 3 years on the topic and then you just lose interest in and then you have to change the topic and, So really, really, do your homework and just understand the topic. This is something that can be sustainable. When I started doing research, for my master's when there was no smartphone and I was focusing on technology, And then after then, when I was busy on my research, the smartphone came. Now I must go back and start again because the supervisor said, no, but you're not going to come and tell us this is your recommendation, but you overlook the smartphone because then now you were looking in terms of how people can access the internet and the technology. But now smartphone has changed the way, People now need Wi-Fi, It's not like in the day where you rely on the data, you need, So that's how technology, and research is very important. And I was demoralized because now I must go back and change the whole research because now they are saying that no, the external examiner are going to grill you and say, why? Why did you overlook that there's emergence of the smartphones? Can you imagine? So it's very, very important to think well and to really think. But thank you. Let me not waste your time. Thank you so much. I'm grateful and to be here. Thank you, Doctor, for inviting me. Thank you.
On a lighter note, Doc, I think when you said that we started your research when smartphones were emerging, I think you just revealed your age.
Yeah.
But can you please help me appreciate him? I think we can do better than that. Thank you so much for that very enlightening and thought-provoking keynote address that you gave us. I think from what you've said, I literally wrote down 5 questions that I'd love to challenge every researcher to ask yourself. The first one is the research that I'm enrolled for in the Faculty of Management Sciences is a research that can change behavior? I think you spoke about behavior. Maybe you can do a small introspection of the kind of research that you're engaged in. Can it change behavior? Maybe that's the first thing that you want to write. Can it be applicable? Can someone apply this research that I'm engaged in? That's the second thing that I took from the address. A very interesting third one is, can it immediately solve a problem? Because we are tired of research that sits in the library and no one uses it to solve real problem. And there's a very interesting thing that he mentioned, that before enrolling in the university and the faculty, did you ask yourself, what are the priorities of the university? And I think, Assistant Dean, maybe in future, students need to interview us as faculties to say, what is your priority? So that I can align my research to the priorities of the faculty. And what are the priorities of TUT? And align yourself to the priorities of TUT, but it's always the other way around. We take what the students give and we run with it. So I think that was a very important thing to say. We need to know what the priorities of the host universities are, so we align ourselves with those priorities. And of course, the sustainable goals, development goals, UN sustainable development goals. So I think these are some of the questions that perhaps tonight, when you want everything to marinate, everything that you've learned today, these are some of the questions that you can ask. And just very quickly, I wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm sure you're aware because you are dealing with technology transfer, and there have been a lot of spin-offs of businesses from universities that are started by Technology Transfer Office, your TTOs. In UWC, and I apologize that I'm using other universities other than TUT. I'm not proud of that. I wish I can give an example from TUT. But from UWC, there's a master's student that did a dissertation in the Department of Agriculture. And she was investigating how we can help rural entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, to use advancements in technology and to use different systems of irrigation other than the normal manual ones that our mothers are using in the villages. And the Technology Transfer Office at UWC took that dissertation of the student, literally went and started a cooperative of women in rural Western Cape that could help and benefit from that particular dissertation. So I thought that was a brilliant collaboration between the department that is hosting the student and the technology transfer and society as well. In Central University of Technology, in the ICT faculty, a student developed from his thesis, he developed a technology, a smartwatch that can help trace kids that have hearing impairment, where that particular smart watch can help trace a child that cannot hear, and maybe the child is missing and they can't trace that child, and with that technology you're able to trace. So there are a lot of technologies that are coming from students' work in their master's and PhD programs, and I'm hoping from this cohort today, we are going to have those people that are going to be disruptors. And when you become a disruptor and a millionaire, like Airbnb owners, don't forget us, ne? Don't forget us at TUT. Come back and plow back, So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for that. Because we are not sure what time our keynote speaker will leave the room, I want to, at this moment, kindly request Ms. Sharon Mukola, our NCAP lecturer in the Department of Hospitality, who is part of the organizing team for this particular event, to just come forth and help us thank our keynote speaker with a beautiful, nicely organized gift that we have prepared for you. You are one of us, but obviously we can't let you go back to UJ without something from TUT. So we organized something small for you. If you could just kindly come forward. And then we're going to ask that maybe you can come and take a picture there with our TUT logo and all of that. Whilst they do their picture taking and all that, I just want to quickly appreciate colleagues in the faculty that are here. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing because I'm going to start calling out names, and if I forget someone, it's not that I wanted to. Maybe I didn't. So I see Prof. Karina is here. I see Prof. Uwe was the first person to arrive. I see Prof. Ru. I saw Dr. Magaleng. And I saw, let me see who I see, Dr. Dina. There's so many people from our faculty. These are your lecturers. These are your supervisors from our faculty that came here to support. Can we please appreciate them? For moral support. Thank you so much, colleagues, for coming here to support our students and everyone that I've not called. If I spot you, I'll definitely call out your name. Also, at this point, I just want to quickly introduce the panel members because they are going to be excused. Those that are doing the poster presentation between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, they will be excused. Go outside and do their poster presentation. But before they do that, I'd like to officially introduce them so that you can help me give them a warm welcome. In the panel, we have Ms. Moleboheng Makofane. She is from the Department of Building Science, and she's a lecturer there. I saw Moleboheng when I was coming in. Can we please appreciate her? Oh, you were here, and now you're this side. Thank you so much for coming. We don't take it for granted that you came all the way from a different department, a different faculty to come support us. We really appreciate that. We have Ms. Seli Kiabetsi Ledwaba from Engineering and Build Environment. Ms. Seli is an academic excellence coordinator. Can we please appreciate her? She's that side. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us here today. We have Ms. Tulufelo Tladi from Civil Engineering. She's a lecturer there. Ms. Tulufelo. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. We have Dr. Henry Okuku from Industrial Design. In Industrial Design. Okay, can we please appreciate him? He's a part-time lecturer in that department. So thank you so much, sir, for taking your time today to join us for our postgraduate symposium. Dr. Lesego Petle from the Department of Science or Faculty of Science. I think there was a typing error here, but she's a lecturer there. Sorry. Dr. Lesego Petle, a lecturer in the Science Department. And we have Professor Dondolo from Soshanguve in the Faculty of Humanities, the Assistant Dean there. So thank you so much for honoring us. Prof, we don't take it for granted. Thank you so much for supporting your sister faculty this side. So we really appreciate that. We have in the panel Maria Mushatoni from the doctor. Okay. Uyazi zongishayisa ngabantu bazongishaya serious Mpumi. So it was not written. I apologize for that. So it's Dr. Maria Mushatoni from the Department of Journalism and Integrated Communications. Can we please appreciate by show of hands? Okay, there. We sorted it out, ma'am. Sorry about that. You did not write Mpumi Gloria Chilwane if it's a miss, a doctor. He's a doctor. Okay. All doctors. Hi, that's how special you are. All doctors. So we have Dr. Glory Chilwane from the Department of Foundation Education, something dear to my heart. She's a part-time lecturer there, I'm assuming in Soshanguve campus. Do we have Dr. Chilwane? There at the back. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Soshanguve North Campus there. And we do have, I don't know if it's doctor. It should be doctor. So you brought a whole team, a squad of doctors. Thank you so much, Prof, for that. We have Dr. Joanne Mambacha. I hope I'm saying it correctly. From the Department of Journalism and Integrated Communication, also in Soshanguve North Campus. Can we appreciate Dr. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. And you're one of the earliest to arrive, so thank you so much. I remember you. Thank you so much for that. We don't take your presence for granted. And then we have, I'm assuming it's Dr. Johnny Mtimunye. Thank you so much, Doc, for, and it's not my fault. It's not written from which department. If I say anything wrong, this lady, she must raise her hand. You must blame her. I don't want to take bullets for mistake, but that's on a lighter note. I know you did your best to organize all of this. So can we please appreciate all the panel members that took their time to come and honor us here. We really appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. So now that we've officially introduced everyone, between now and 12, those that are judging the posters, we are going to allow you to go out so that you're not disrupted. You can listen to the student presenting their posters and you make your notes and you do your calculations and all of that. We're going to allow you time to go out and start engaging with the poster presenters outside. So we have students that are doing posters and we have students that are doing oral presentation. The normal one. That one I think is quite interesting. Can I go out and someone can do MC here? I'm joking. Everything is interesting. So they're going to go out between now and 10 and do the poster presentation, and we are going to remain here and do the oral presentation. But before that, then I'm told we're going to take a short tea break. Am I correct, Mpumi? Are we on time? So when I look at my time, it's 9:38. 9:38. Between now and 10, it's refreshments. Am I correct? Between now and 10, it's refreshments, so we can all go out and enjoy our tea. And then 10 o'clock, those that are doing oral presentation, you come back here, right? And those that are doing poster presentation, you can remain outside. Am I fine? Okay, I'll see you now at 10 o'clock. Do you enjoy your tea outside? Take pictures, post on LinkedIn, tag the Faculty of Management Sciences. make us trend today. TikTok, yes, please, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Doc, you left us. How are you?
I'm ready.
Why did you leave?
It's a long story.
No, but you know, I'm in the Department